You hit it on the head when you said I'm in the trenches doing it with you. I've
Mm,
come across a lot of programs where the trainer just trains.
mm,
I have yet to find that trainer that's literally training you from the inside out. And for me, it's the value of your life is so important. It's more than just the physical.
mm-hmm,
So that game changer is I'm not going to let you prematurely die.
mm,
And
mm,
it's deeper than some cardio.
mm-hmm.
It's spiritually and mentally die. I'm not going to let that happen because it almost happened
Ooh.
to me. I almost allowed myself to get that dark. So
Hello, and welcome to the Oasis Space, where we disrupt your current chaos with curated peace. I am your host, Patrice Grimes, also known as the Peace Curator, and I am happy that you are joining me here on the Oasis Space today. We're coming off of the Thanksgiving holiday, and I felt like this topic was so fitting. You know, here in the Oasis Space, if you're a regular Peace Pursuit, that we discuss all things peace. Peace meaning how to pivot even as chaos ensues. And we define how we can accomplish peace in our lives by transforming conflict into peace, particularly as it relates to our personal relationships and our professions. Well, I want to tell you that I think one of the most important relationships we have is with ourselves, right? And the relationship we have with our bodies, with our health, and with our overall wellness. And so I am joined here in the Oasis Space with a special guest, Kendra Nicole Wyatt, and she is going to share her personal story of why she does what she does. Just a little bit about Kendra. She is a master motivator and wellness coach, and her mission is to teach women how to embrace themselves no matter what shape or size. You know, it's a brief bio, but what Kendra has to share is so insightful, so impactful. Again, she shares her personal story of her challenges with weight fluctuations throughout life and how she's able to really get into the trenches with her clients to help them define what health and wellness looks like for them, which is really different from the trainers that the typical trainers we see out here in the world, right? And so again, Kendra shares her personal story of what pivoted her into those specific moments of wanting to not only help redefine her own health, but also redefine those for other women that she works with. That being said, y'all, again, we're coming off of the Thanksgiving holiday. So I know some of you all, if like me or others, ate a bunch of food. You might be feeling guilty about how much you ate. You may be just feeling a little shameful overall of your body, right? So this isn't something that's only applicable after the holidays. It's certainly something that can be applicable throughout the rest of the year in how we view ourselves, the relationship with our bodies, and how we can transform those relationships, right? And so this is such a timely message that I am confident you all will receive something from it. If you got a sandwich in your hand right now, don't even think about skipping this episode. It's okay, girl. It is no shade, no read here. Go ahead, eat your sandwich, because that's what Kendra is going to tell you in this episode. And I don't want to give it all away, but there's no shame here. We want everyone to live a life that is as healthy and as wealthy and of course peaceful, right? So don't skip the episode. Don't think you just need to send this to a friend. Listen to it, understand the jewels that are being dropped here, and just enjoy, right? I don't want to delay it any longer. I'd like to welcome you all into the Oasis Space with Miss Kendra Nicole Wyatt. All right. Welcome you guys to another episode of the Oasis Space. I am here with my girl, Kendra Wyatt, the master motivator and wellness coach. Okay. You do not just get a name like that for no reason. Okay. You look, I wish y'all could see this big old cheese that she got going on right now. Like, she has the most beautiful smile, y'all. She has master motivator. That title is not for no reason. Okay. Like, this girl, when I thought I was a hype woman. No, ma'am. No, like, Kendra is the ultimate hype woman, the ultimate motivator, the ultimate wellness coach. And I'm so honored to have you here, Kendra. Welcome to the Oasis Space.
Aw, thank you. That was really nice. That was so nice. Like, it was. I was like, aw.
It's true.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me. Hello to all the peace prosperous out there. You out there moving, shaking, changing lives. Like, I love it. So thank you for having me. Like, it is. Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here. Like, you my girl. So of course,
Yeah.
hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey. Yes, let's get into it, girl. So you, like I said, you are, titled a master motivator and wellness coach. And one thing I love about that, because it's like you don't just get that kind of title for no reason. And I want to kind of break that down because it's, a lot of people will call themselves fitness coaches, or they'll call themselves health and wellness specialists, or whatever, like a physical trainer, something like that. But it's like, what is a master motivator wellness coach? Like, let's just start there. Like, what is that specifically?
Honestly, it was the name that was given to me.
Okay.
It was like coined to me, and I was like, oh, okay, I like the way that sounds. That was what it was. And the clients that I have worked with, they're like, you are really good at motivating. Like, you just come in with this spirit, this energy, this fun. And I was like, dang, okay, it really does stick. Like, because people always, when I run into them, well, women, they're like, oh, I don't have that motivation. Like, the motivation is gone. But you motivate me so much, like the energy, the fun, like the smiling. So I was like, oh, well, check that out. Okay.
Yes.
And for wellness, it's all of that. It's the mind, it's the body. It's not just the physical aspect, because you, like you just said, you can always just go and get, okay, I'm going with my personal trainer, my fitness coach, or whatever. No, it's deeper than that for me. It's motivating everything wellness. So that's
okay.
how it came. It is here.
I love it. I love it.
It's catchy. I like it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yes, I'm here for a little alliteration. You got me with that. But and I think it's nice that, sometimes people will pull out the things in you that you don't even maybe see in yourself. So it's like the fact that your clients, like, that's how you were just naturally showing up as this motivator, is something that they needed, that you recognize that you probably didn't even realize, like, that's how you naturally show up. And they're like, look, you are the master motivator, and that's how you got your name. So it's like, right. Yeah, I really love that. So is this a space that is this something that you always wanted to do? So like, I know, like, as children, right, we always all have these dreams of what we want to be, I think, growing up, or we have this idea, like, as we go through school, of the things that we want to accomplish or who we want to be when we grow up. Is this like what you saw yourself, pursuing as a child?
Girl, no. No.
Keep it real in the Oasis Space. Yes.
I'm not gonna tell you, oh yeah, I knew I wanted to do this all my life. No. Now, what I will say, all my life though, I have, well, I'm not saying all my life, but a good portion of my life, I have gone up and down with working out, being healthy, being conscious of certain things that I eat. Like, my weight fluctuated a lot. So that's something I've always been tapped into. And I would be like, okay, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But as a child, girl, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a lawyer. My mom always says, oh, you always doing something that, what are you going to really do? So,
right.
No. But now,
No.
God, when I prayed to God to be like, hey, what is it that I'm called to do? And it was like right in my face. Like, this was it. You've been doing it your entire life for yourself. Other women need that just as much as you did and still do. And here I am. And it's the
Wow.
best feeling ever for me.
That's so awesome. So, I mean, I know you said that like you felt like you had this moment where it's like, okay, you've been doing this your entire life. It was looked like it was right in your face. I don't think everybody has those types of moments where it just kind of like smacks you like, hello, aha, this is what you've been doing. This is what you kind of called to do. This is your purpose, right? So it's like, was there any type of, I guess, pivotal moment that brought you to this? Because like you said, you wanted to be a teacher at one point. You had wanted to be a lawyer. You had wanted to be whatever, multiple things. So was there some particular incident or situation or something in your life that specifically kind of launched you into wanting to pursue this type of position, this type of role?
Yes. Relationships. Toxic relationships. Like, I'm just relate a relationship with even not an intimate setting, but even just platonic relationships altered that for me. And that was my moment of, okay, wait, this is an occurrence for a lot of women. It's not just me, but it was a particular relationship that literally broke me down. And I had to pick myself back up, and I had to really do a lot of self-assessing on who I am, what I want, who I'm called to be. Why am I feeling that I needed validation from a relationship when it was all right here in me? So once I tapped into that for my mind, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's slowly get back into getting yourself back together, being healthy. Okay, let's do this. Okay, this month you just gonna go back to eating greens and things. Like, it was different stages. And then I was like, oh, wait, this is something you've been doing. And I would hear other women vent and be like, girl, this has happened to me. And I was just listening. They were like, has that ever happened to you? And a lot of my closest friends didn't know I was walking around depressed, having all of that going on. And I'm like, okay, it clicked for me. You're not alone. Like, you're not. And it slapped me in the face. Literally, like, oh, here you go.
Right. And when you talk about your relationship, right, I think that's to your point, right, you're not alone, because I think that's one thing that a lot of us resonate with when we think about how some of us may fluctuate with weight in different instances and experiences that may contribute to weight loss or weight gain. A lot of times it can be affected to these relationships. And I heard you say, like, you were in this relationship that broke you. And like, do you want to share, like, what specifically happened? Are you able to share anything that particular, like, what was specifically happened in this relationship that maybe was different from others, or that was kind of like the thing that, quote, broke you, that made you realize, like, okay, something's got to change. Something's got to change the way I've been seeing myself, etc. Right.
The breaking moment for me was my relationship that I'm like, oh, okay, I literally picked up my life, left my home, left my family, sold things that were possessions of mine, and moved across the states to pursue what I was being told as my future, and trusting into this relationship. Like, okay, hey, this is it. This is what we're doing. We're building for our goals, our life. And then to be told, oh, I never loved you. And you've got less than 30 days to figure out what you're going to do and leave.
Wow.
That was a lot. That was like, wait, what? And then to go back and say, oh, well, no, I didn't mean that. Let's try to work it out. So it was a lot of back and forth. Okay, well, hey, okay, we are going to work this out. Then it was like, oh, no, you just don't have my heart anymore. This other person is it for me. And I'm done. To hear those words from somebody that you trust and that you like love, like unconditionally,
Right.
that is like, wait, what? Especially when you have been there, when you have been that support, and then to be told that, and it's like, oh, this is life. And then to
Right.
find out that you're building the life that we were doing with this person, child and all, having, yes, that broke me down. I'm like, who is this person? What is going on here?
He was having a child with this other person?
Yes.
Wow.
And I got all of this news. It was like a flood at one time. So it was like back to back, and nobody around me knew. Maybe one or two people knew. But other than that, I had to show up, go to work, figure it out. And I was literally moving, but coming home and sleeping, trying to figure out what I was gonna do, what was the best move. And I couldn't get out of it. And I just prayed. I literally broke down on my knees and just prayed and was like, okay, God, what's next? This can't be it. And slowly but surely, it was like stuff was just lifted from my spirit. And I was shown what was for me.
So that's so crazy, Kendra. And it's I think what's interesting is that it's like you said, you weren't alone in that situation. Like, even though you felt alone as you were going through that situation, because you weren't sharing it with anyone, no one knew that what you were going through in that moment. It's so unfortunate because there are so many other women, other men, I'm sure, because I don't want to be discriminatory. Like, this does not happen to men as well, where maybe their lives are turned upside down. But we see these situations happen so often, right? Where people think they are in these relationships where they have these lifetime partners, and, you know, the script is flipped. And you have to really just readjust. And so it sounds like, I mean, I definitely can understand how that could be a situation that will break you, because you thinking you're building a lifetime with this person, and then they come and have it, you know, you find out that they're building a life with someone else. So I think where that kind of actually brings me, so I know what you talked about earlier too is how even when you were younger, you said you'd always kind of been into health, but your weight fluctuated up and down. So I wonder did you recognize any similar patterns from your childhood when your weight fluctuated up and down in comparison to the situation that you dealt with this relationship? Like, did you see any similarities at all? Any similar patterns that you were able to identify as far as like when your weight was fluctuating, or
I did,
when you begin to have those challenges?
I did, because as a kid, I was told, oh, you know, you're cute for a dark-skinned girl. Or, oh, if you were a little bit smaller of this, or, oh, you're getting so chunky, or, oh, dang, you know, oh, you lost weight, what happened? And those were like triggers, because even in that relationship, it would be, oh, well, are you going to go back to working out again? What happened? And I didn't realize that then. Now I'm like, oh, bro, this is really what it was. Like, what? So it's just that, like I said earlier, that validation from the person that you love, or like your family members that you love. Okay, how can your family member tell you, oh, I can't even look at your face because it's so round?
Wow.
Yeah. So those were just seeking that love from someone else, feeling like that would make me feel a certain way. Once I realized I'm all that I need. Like, and people before would see me, oh, you're so, you know, this confidence, I see it in your face, or this and the third. That was a whole imposter. Like, oh, okay, yeah. But low key in my mind, I'm like, hey, y'all think that? What? But now it's like, yeah, I don't need you to tell me that because I feel it. Like, I know, like, I legit have prayed to God, like, and still to be like, look, Lord, keep me humble, keep me sane, because keep me together, like, keep building me up, because it's still sometimes hard moments where I'm like, I can't believe that happened. And I have to, like, change my mind to not go back to that little girl or that girl from 2 years ago.
Right. Right. So still recognizing those triggers and really kind of addressing them in a healthy manner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I do wellness, because it's your mind. Because it's so quick. Like my mom always says, the mind is delicate. Like, it takes a second and that switch, it flips and you're like, dang, you're back in the second place. So for me, I have affirmations on my wall where I get up every morning and I look at that, I say those, I pray, and I'm like, okay, keep my mind together. Because without that, everything else is going to fall apart. So when you change your mind, your body will change. The way you look at yourself will change. That body image will change. You'll feel like you are enough no matter what. That's why I say on every post, I'm evolving no matter what shape or size, because you gotta love you.
Yes, yes. And that is actually something I wanted to get into, because that is, like, I know that's like kind of your slogan. That's kind of your motto. That's like a mantra that you live by. And as amazingly beautiful that I think you are, and I think you girl, you look bomb, okay? But by, I think, society standards, right, you probably would not be classified as what the typical, I guess, what
personal trainer looks like.
Personal trainer would look like, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, by society standards, right? So it's like, how do you then, like, speak to people, or how do you, not one, like, you get past your own limiting beliefs, but how do you then convince other clients to make sure they know, like, look, I can still train you despite not looking like what you think a physical trainer is supposed to look like, right? Like, I'm still qualified to help you meet the goals you want to meet, despite what you think, what society has told you the average physical trainer should look like, right? How do you get past some of their maybe limiting beliefs?
Because I am very transparent with them. I tap into, I was there before where I had to think like, oh, you can't train me if you don't look this way. So I get it. I have to tell them, like, look, this is real life. I'm an example of real life, of what happens on a good day, bad day, good year, good month, however you want to look at it. So when clients say, oh, well, my other trainer didn't understand, or I had a trainer before they didn't understand, and then I always get the, oh, you really understand. Yeah, because I'm that girl. Like, I'm that girl who lost weight, gained it back, bloated next month. Like, so I definitely get that, and I'll tell them, society trains our mind anyway that we have to look a certain way anyway.
Right.
And that's another, breaking that mindset. You have to want to feel good for yourself.
Yeah.
That's, if we listen to what other people think about us, we will not do anything. Because everybody's going to have an opinion. Everybody's going to say, oh, well, because it happened to me the other day. Somebody was like, I said, oh, I got to hurry up and I got to go because I have a session. They were like, a session of what? I was like, oh, a personal training session. Oh, you have a trainer? I was like, no, I am the trainer. Oh. Really?
Okay. Get them together.
Like,
yes.
I was like, yes. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. I was like, well, the more you know. Let me know when you want to sign up.
Yes. I love that.
Like,
I love that.
They would look at me and say, oh, you're a curvy girl. How, like, No, my
Mm-hmm.
body moves just fine. I know what to do. Like I gain muscle so quick. So when people see that, they're like, "Oh, wait." But then when they work
Mm-hmm.
with me, they're like, "Oh,
Right.
it's good." I mean,
Right.
you had a session, huh?
Session, and I was huffing and puffing like the big bad wolf ready to blow the house down. Okay.
So I see a lot of clients once they get that out of their head and they're like, oh, "Okay, this is authenticity."
Mm-hmm.
They respect that and love that a lot more than somebody that's already there. They
Mm-hmm.
enjoy that journey versus that person that's already there. You can receive a lot more messaging from somebody who's taking that walk with you because somebody that's already there. They're like, "Oh well, yeah,
Right.
you'll take it," but it's gonna be like, yeah.
No, that's true. That is so true though, because I ended up seeing something kind of by accident on, you know how YouTube will play videos like right after you've watched
Mm-hmm.
something. So like I was doing like a kickboxing um workout or something, and the next video that played was this show that used to come on, I guess. I don't know if it was ever an actual TV show or if it was just a YouTube series, but it was about trainers that would actually intentionally gain weight so they would understand what it was like to be fat, like because
Mm-hmm.
all of them had always been thin their entire lives, and so
Mm-hmm.
they gained weight intentionally so that they wouldn't understand what it was like to be like their clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, they telling them to do 50 push-ups and they're like, whoa, I didn't realize how hard it is to lift 350 pounds, like
Right.
I'm sitting here telling them do it and like push harder, you can do it,
And
it,
they're not
and sitting there
relatable.
like, yeah, it's like, oh, I didn't realize how hard it is to move this type of weight, right? And they appreciated it so much more. They understood how much more, like the energy, like with the energy, they understood more about how hard it was to move the weight. They just had a greater appreciation for the overall experience. And it also made the clients appreciate the trainer more
Mm-hmm.
because they felt like, okay, if this trainer would put themselves on the line to even risk their health and put their health in jeopardy to kind of gain this weight so they can understand my experience, I gotta go hard. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't let them down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was such an interesting experiment. And so I can imagine, like you say, it resonates with them because you're sitting there telling them and you're transparent, like, listen, I've been there. I've been through the up and down, the yo-yos. I
Mm-hmm.
know what it's like. I know what it's like to have these experiences that kind of knock you off your feet. And maybe, your weight is affected because of it. But I'm right here in the trenches with you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna get it done and we're gonna make it happen, right? And I really love that because that's what it's about, right? Because a lot of times I think we have these situations and we get into these cycles of what they call with the emotional eating,
Right.
right?
Right.
So is that something that you talk to your clients about, the emotional eating and things
Yeah.
like that? Because not even just from the relationship, I don't mean to cut you off, but not even from like the relationship, because we focused on that because that was your specific story. But like, we can talk about things when any type of catastrophic event that happens. And when
Mm-hmm.
I talk about being a peace pursuit, my listeners know by now I define peace as being able to pivot even as chaos ensues, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when we think of any type of chaotic event, any type of conflict that disrupts in our life, being that maybe we lose a job, maybe
Mm-hmm.
we have a death in the family, like grief, we have a relationship loss, there's something that happens, where it just don't go right. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We have these situations and then sometimes and then it's not a catastrophic event, when we know with emotional eating, it's like when you're happy, you just eat. You know what I'm saying? You do
Mm-hmm.
it because you're bored.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, is that something that you talk about with your clients and how do you help them to kind of transform that relationship with food
Mm-hmm.
so that they can kind of break that cycle?
I actually do. I had a client who she liked to get this specific cookie. Like that was her, I guess,
Mm.
her reward. I'm like, okay, well, why are you feeling like you need that every day?
Uh-huh.
Why can't you reward yourself with something else? Not saying,
Yeah.
okay, don't have your cookie. I'm definitely
Right.
not gonna say that because I eat my cookie. I do.
Right.
But I do. I mean, I'm being realistic. Like I'm not gonna say no, I don't eat sweets, but
Right.
um I definitely hit points on that for her, and she was like, I didn't look at it that way. I can reward myself with something else. I don't have to do it every day. And then she paired it with, she was like, Because I didn't curse the coworker out today. So I just felt like, oh, that was the way I relieve stress. So I then realized, okay, she was having stresses from work. So it's like, okay, those are her triggers to want to be like, oh, let me go get this. Yeah. But I'm still going to work out. Then it was her child. Like, it was things like that. So I definitely tap into other things outside of like relationships. It's like how you say work, because that's a big part of our lives. Like, we are at work so much more, and we're dealing with multiple personalities. You take that home, and before you know it, like myself, I have a sit down job. I used to like snack, and I was like, wait a minute, hold up. Like, not even thinking about it. Right. She said she was doing the same thing. I'm like, okay, well, when you have those moments, let's stand up. She has a stand up desk. Stand up, go for a walk. If you have snacks, like, she's changed the way she actually let things trigger her. Like, when people would come and be like, oh, well, hey, I need this deadline to be done, she would address it differently. Like, what did she tell me? Oh, gosh, we've had so many conversations. And it just went right over my head. But anyway, I say all that to say, it's more than just the bad things. It's also when you get in a good relationship, girl, you happy. Y'all going out on dates all the time, like out to eat.
Yes, that happy relationship way.
Yes, like you be like, oh, before I know, I got freshman 30. Like,
yes,
you get up quick. It'd be like, girl, be in love. Like, I get it. I definitely get it, but that's when you have to make those different choices. Or, hey, babe, we about to go eat. Let's go work out together. Let's go for a walk after we eat all this. So, I love what I do. Like, I do.
And I can tell. And that's good. It's important to love what you do. It's important to be passionate about what you're doing, because it comes across to your clients. And so I think, just kind of wrapping it up, like, what, and then we kind of touched on it a little bit, but what is it about your program in particular that you feel has kind of changed the game, not only just like for your clients, but for you, right? Because we know there are so many other like diet programs out there. What was it about your program specifically that you were like, this is going to be the difference, right? Because again, I think you've been through other catastrophic events in life, right? This one in the relationship where you were like, okay, enough is enough. I've got to start changing the way I look at myself, how I see myself, whatever. And even, dating back to the comments that maybe family members may have made, right? Like, it's like putting all that aside, how am I now going to change this and not look at diets the way I have been looking at diets, or doing the same old diet, whatever the latest diet fad is. How can I be different? How is my program going to really be a game changer, right? Like, what is it? What is it about that program or that you think changes the game from those different diets that are out there, or what other people are doing?
You hit it on the head when you said I'm in the trenches doing it with you. I've come across a lot of programs where the trainer just trains. I have yet to find that trainer that's literally training you from the inside out. And for me, it's the value of your life is so important. It's more than just the physical. So that game changer is, I'm not going to let you prematurely die. And it's deeper than some cardio. It's spiritually and mentally die. I'm not going to let that happen, because it almost happened to me. I almost allowed myself to get that dark. So I have yet to come across somebody that's providing that spiritual warfare of changing all of that.
Girl, I just had to take a moment of silence on that. Okay? Like, you just said, I'm not going to let you prematurely die, physically or spiritually. My God.
My spirit was broken, and I know I'm not and have not been the only one. So that's why it's wellness for me. That's why it's that. Because you could
And
work out all day. Like you say, yo-yo dieting is okay. I've done that.
mm-hmm.
But once that internal is fixed and healed or tapped into, you will be amazed at what will follow. Because I make
Right.
myself every day. I'm like, oh, check me out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's because the internal work is still going.
Yeah.
Nobody else is doing that I know of. Or if they
Right.
are, they're not doing it the way that God is allowing me to do it.
Right. Right. There it is. There it is. And that's so true. You know, there'll be trainers that is helping you with the diet plan and knowing what carbs to cut out and the macros and the all of those
Check
things,
you
right?
out. Okay.
Okay. I know a little bit. I know a little something. Okay. They will school you on all those things. They will school you on the difference with the strength training, the cardio training,
Your
and all of those
BMI.
things. But never tapping into, well, how did we even get here?
Exactly.
And how are we going to make sure that you don't go back through this cycle again? Right? Because to your point, it can be a vicious cycle, especially for people that have dealt with it for a long time. You have to understand and wonder what is going to be the trigger point for you. Because if it's not the relationship this time, it's going to be something else. Right? It's going to be the job. It's going to be the family member that disappointed you. It's going to be something. So how do we fix this so that you don't fall in the same cycle, to your point, so that you're not prematurely dying? Because that's what it is. You know, how is it that we are able to, encounter these chaotic events that happen in our lives, these disruptive events, these events that don't feel good, and still keep moving, still keep being intentional about our bodies, still keep being intentional about our health, but loving ourselves? Because I think you said that earlier, just still loving ourselves in that moment, despite what our body looks like, even if it's not our quote body goals per se, loving ourselves in that moment of just even how our body looks.
Even in the good moments, you still gonna, because when it's good, it's fine. You're like, oh, but it's good and bad. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're right.
Look, just overall embracing yourselves, because you evolve every day. Every day, something happens, good or bad.
Every day,
good or bad. So it's what are you gonna do? Just you got to shift,
girl.
You got to shift.
That's a whole word there. Listen, okay. I know there's so much more that we could talk about here and really unpack this, but what I want is really for people just to come and hit you up about this program. Okay, because we're not going to give it all on the Oasis space here, because they need to just figure out what you're doing, okay, and get it there, because we can't change the whole mindset in a 30 to 60 minute podcast, okay? Not some mindsets that have been disrupted for maybe 10 years, 50 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Girl, we can't do that in a 30-minute podcast, okay? We are not magicians and we're not God, all right? We like to believe that God may have called us and appointed us for such a time as this, but look, we're not him, and we can't do it in this 30 to 60 minute podcast. So they gonna have to hit you up, Kendra. Okay? They would have to hit you up to really shift that mindset. Okay, because it's real. And when we talk about it, like we were talking about like the YOM, but even like people that are not, that just overall body image, because a lot of times we focus on like even people that are maybe heavier set, but even the people that are thin and don't, that don't appreciate the way they look, right? So it's so much more to this, right?
It is. I've gotten people asking me about that. Oh, well, how do I gain weight? Listen, come on. Yes, okay, I got you. Yes.
Okay.
But I can definitely be found on Instagram at Think Thick Fitness. That's Think, and that's Thick with 2 C's, no CK. Yep. It's just 2 C's, Fitness. I definitely will give more insight on my program. It's a 3-month program, and we go into all things. The first month we work on like your mind. We do working out, but it's more so, hey, like you said, how did you get here? what's going on. Let's
Mm-hmm.
work on this. I meet with you. We have sessions where I work out with you. And then the next 2 months, we get it in. You actually will see the change. You'll see it in the first month. Those last 2 months is when it hits. By then, by the third month, you're like, oh, okay, I know what to do. I know what to expect.
Yeah.
I have an acronym. It's HEALTH. So hit me up if you want to know what HEALTH is standing for. Can't let y'all know now, but yes, it's definitely
hit us with the teaser.
definitely worth it. So yes, definitely DM me, email me. I'm on Facebook under Kendra. What is it? Kendra Nicole? No, it's Kendra Wyatt. So yeah, that's where I can be found.
And I will include all of that information in the show notes for those that want to work directly with Kendra. And for those that are still maybe on the fence, Kendra, like they are listening and they're like, man, this sounds good. It definitely resonates. I'm tired of feeling the way I've been feeling. We've been, maybe it was quarantining or like maybe people, I kind of fell off a little bit. Or like you say, maybe it's the people that has been kind of cycling through this process for a while. And it's like, Kendra sound like it, but I just don't know. Right? Because sometimes it's the budget. Sometimes it's just the beliefs of like, this is just not going to work. Or I don't have the money. I don't have this. I don't got whatever the excuses that they may be coming up with at this moment. What is something that you would say to the person that is still on the fence that you think like for this person that they know they need to, they like, it's an inkling in their belly and their spirit that it's like they know they probably need to get up, they know they need to initiate some change, but they're still on the fence. Like, what's the final thing you would say to them? What's some signs that would really prompt them to know it's time to get moving?
Because how much is your life worth to you? How time works for nobody. How many more Mondays or tomorrows will you tell yourself? How many next weeks? This is it. This is your moment. Take care of you. You'll take care of all the other things. Oh, I'm going to go do this. Oh, tomorrow I know I said I was going to tell my friend we was going to meet for next week. Meet and show up for you. This is it. This is all you need. And if you're still struggling, I offer one freebie.
Okay.
Of a workout.
All right now.
To introduce you. So, got to get in where you fit in.
That sounds like an offer you can't refuse to me. That's what it sounds like to me. And I'm glad you said that, right? Like, that's not another Monday we're going to pass up because we all know that these episodes drop on Tuesday. And we love to say we're going to start a workout on a Monday. Okay. Well, this is coming out on a Tuesday. So go ahead and start yours on a Wednesday or contact Kendra on a Tuesday when you're listening. Or if you're listening on a Thursday, whenever you end up hearing it. We don't have to wait. Let's go ahead and break this myth now. We do not have to wait to start new workout plans on Monday, y'all. Let me tell y'all, I used to hate and I was like, if I didn't kick off that workout on Monday, it felt like the rest of the week went downhill. Like I was just like, ooh, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start
my workouts for me start on Sunday. Sunday is my first day.
Okay.
Is my day.
That's like my active rest day. So
yeah. It's
that's my Sabbath, girl. But see, this is a real master motivator and wellness coach y'all talking to. So don't listen to me. Y'all hear this podcast? Go ahead and get started on the day. Go ahead and get started on the day you hear this episode drop. Okay, don't y'all wait for this Monday to roll around.
Up. You get that one, and you will not be disappointed. You will enjoy.
Yes. Okay. Now, Kendra, there is something I like to do at the end of all of my episodes with the guests. They are called my rapid value questions. Okay. There's 4 questions. It is the first thing that comes up the top of your mind.
Oh, Lord.
There is no, I don't know why I always have that response from people. Okay. It's never bad. Y'all always have good answers. Like, it's okay, girl. But yeah, it's 4 questions. First thing comes up the top of your mind. There are no right or wrong answers. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Question number 1. What is one thing you like to do to sustain or reset your peace?
Read.
Yes.
Read.
Yes. I'm glad you said that because question number 2 is name one book or song that's helped you to define peace. and it doesn't have to be peace in the title of the song or in the book. It's just one book or song that has helped you to define peace.
The book I'm currently reading now, it's Fail Fast, Fail Often.
Oh,
Yes.
Fail Fast, Fail Often.
Mhm.
Oh, who is that by?
It's some doctors. Hold on, one second. It is by Ryan Bobineau and John. Girl, I am botching their names up.
That's okay, because we're gonna look it up on Amazon, and we're gonna also include that in the show notes. Okay.
But that's what me define peace. I mean, it doesn't have the word peace in it, but it
Right.
definitely shifted a lot of things for me and helped me find peace with my overthinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I haven't read that one, but I mean, I think the title alone says a lot. Like fail fast and fail often, because like how many of us hate failure overall?
Me.
Like we hate the concept or the idea of failure. I'm not a big fan of it. I know I'm not. So the idea of failing, but it's like knowing that failure actually helps us learn a lot.
Yes.
So it definitely can help define peace. So I could see that. Okay. Question number 3. How do you define peace for yourself now?
My circle.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I have been blessed, and I have prayed for a well-defined and strong circle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's here. I'm like, wow, you are a part of my circle. So yes.
Oh,
yes.
thank you, girl. You my circle too, girl.
You
That community. Look, I've been trying to
Yes.
tell people that
Yes.
community is serious. It definitely helps you with that piece for sure. Okay. Last question is a fill in the blank. All right. Now there are 3 blanks, but the first one is easy, girl, because it's just your name. All right.
Okay.
That should be an easy blank.
My mind.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. It goes, my name is blank, and without peace, I'd probably be blank, but with peace, I am blank. Okay.
Oh, child. Okay, I'm ready. I might have to run it back again, but
yes. My name is.
Okay. My name is Kendra, and when you say with peace,
without peace, I'd probably be.
Okay, my name is Kendra. Without peace, without peace, I would be living a lie. But with peace, I'm walking in my truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, girl. Yes, I love it.
Sorry for the pause.
I love it. No, you had to marinate on that thing. Okay, because sometimes we don't really think of, like, when we really think about, like, dang, like, what was life like without peace? Like, when my peace was really disrupted. So, look, I understand. You got to kind of think on it, okay? But thank you so much, Kendra. I really, really appreciate you being a part of the Oasis space and gracing us with your presence. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. This is like, my cheeks hurt, girl. I've been laughing all night. So this is refreshing. So
yes.
It's amazing. So thank you.
Thank you, honey bun. Love you.
Love you too.
Okay, didn't I tell y'all? Brief bio, but big jewels. Okay, big jewels drop in. My girl Kendra, listen, I don't have to repeat everything that was said. I think you all get the point, right? When she said, I don't want you to prematurely die, and not just physically, but from the mental and emotional and spiritual capacity, it was so impactful to me because I don't know that we all resonate that way with our bodies, especially those that have had, again, those cycles of weight fluctuations, right? And how it really is a matter of life and death, right? How we treat our bodies, how we feel about ourselves is really a life, a life and death matter, right? And so I know that I have went on quests to identify personal trainers in my time, and they most certainly never consider from the perspective of me emotionally or spiritually dying, right? And so I think that was something that was so impactful that Kendra shared. Again, I am going to drop the social media handles and the website for Kendra in the show notes, but also want you all to think about, again, what is something that has been holding you back from really getting your health into check, right? What is the cycles that you've been able to identify, any triggers that you have been able to identify that causes you to go into these cycles of unhealthy eating or unhealthy habits, right? And is there something you can do immediately to change that? Okay, we always like to give you something to think about at the end of the Oasis space that you can, either change into immediate action or go and identify the resource to help you, to hold you accountable. That's really what this is all about. I want to see y'all be great out here. I want to see you living in a life full of peace. That is my ultimate goal. And so I do want you all, if it sounds like Kendra is someone that can help you with your physical health into shape, along with that mental and spirituality, what she was talking about, then absolutely do not hesitate to reach out, right? Don't do what I said. Don't wait until Monday, the next following Monday or whatever. Start now. Choose yourself today. All right. So if you found this episode to be helpful, of course, I would love for you to rate and review the podcast. It really helps other people identify and find this podcast that may be helpful for them as well. So please, rate and review it, as well as sharing it with a friend, a family member, someone that you think this may be helpful for. And I always tell y'all, slide in my DMs. Don't be afraid. I've heard some people tell me, like, I didn't know if it would be weird to slide in your DMs or, this random person following you. Girl, sir, go ahead and follow me. Stop playing. Go ahead and slide in these DMs so we can talk. All right. I promise I don't bite. So, again, please share it. Please slide in the DMs. Let me know what you're thinking about this episode or future content, right? Until next time, you all, I want you to live your best life and embody peace without ever compromising your authentic identity. Love and light, y'all.